Hi, Nomad. Go right ahead. Mads will be happy to see you.
You see this coming when Skell first showed up? You ever think this is how your life would go? Never mind. Don't answer.
Hey, Jace, we made sure that back door is staying open.
And the programs?
Bitch of a warden is forcing them to work. Most of them got away.
Most. And the others? God. No more, all right? We have what we need.
When you come around that corner, it's all blockaded off, and you gotta really jump over all kinds of crap to get through there.
Keep an eye on any stocks from the outcasts. If you see someone sick, give them a hand. Make sure you do it in a way that's sanitary.
We ready to save Aroa?
Fox received a recording from his source. I'm not sure, but I think it could help.
What is it?
Play the recording.
I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military contractors into Aroa.
Well, I mean, not exactly. We're self-governing.
You used to be.
Okay, we used to be. We needed security. Not just as a police force, but as security. At least that's what Miles got me to finally admit.
Against pirates in the moment and such.
Our drone security was limited. It still is. If unauthorized people land, we would know about it, but we couldn't do anything about it.
You're obviously not afraid of squatters. You were afraid of corporate spies.
We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be. But I was worried about the safety of our staff, the bombing. I just never imagined the antibiotics would be more deadly than the illness. Sentinel snuck a private army into the abandoned U.S. military complexes. Stone's been planning this takeover from day one. My colleague, Ayana Puri, who dealt with this, certainly has a better picture.
Hey, did Fox tell you who his inside source might be? Now, I don't want to press him. I'm not even 100% that he has one. But if that source gets into trouble, he could need someone to help out.
He hasn't told me. And I doubt he would respond well to a man with a gun asking him the question.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. Just as long as you know.
I don't know. And it's not like him to be quiet about anything. I mean, the things that guy told me about his ex-wife, it was like listening to a guy describe a squid eating a chocolate birthday cake. Nobody needs to hear that.
So if he is keeping this secret, it must be pretty big.
Must be.
That outcast bombing must have hit you pretty hard.
Maybe you read about it. I lost my wife in the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center.
Sorry. I didn't know. I guess I can't blame you for bringing in Stone and Sentinel.
Do you know what it feels like to lose someone?
Yeah, I do.
You get all torn up inside. You get to feel like you're falling, but it's an endless fall. You grab hold of anything you can.
So what am I grabbing hold of now?
I don't know. Us. We need you, Nomad. But you probably need us every bit as much.
Hey, I've been hearing about that World 2.0 stuff. And maybe the world needs a software patch. But a utopia? Really?
People out there in the rest of the world, they think the Earth's dying. They have this belief in scarcity. They think that we'll run out of energy, out of space, or out of water, or anything. And that makes every day a crisis.
And World 2.0 would fix that crisis?
It was more about fixing that mentality. I wanted to show the rest of the world that with innovation, with creativity, and with a little courage, it's easy to see the universe is abundant.
And how about now?
It's still an abundant universe. That hasn't changed. Just, I thought I could keep out jealous people. And the cowards.
No getting away from them.
No. I'm probably not as brave as I want to be either.
How did you buy Aroa in the first place?
I didn't buy it. I leased it. Aroa is technically part of New Zealand, but the U.S. had leased it for years.
Yeah. That's why there's the old naval station. But wouldn't it have been easier to rent a chunk of California or something? I'm sure there's a big stretch of Mojave that nobody wants.
Yeah. The abandoned naval station here piqued our interest initially, hoping we could piggyback on the Cold War infrastructure. That was a wash. But once we had visited Aroa, its biodiversity won us over. Good Hope Mountain has ice, Infinity is surrounded by fields, and the swamps of Finn Bog sport as harsh conditions as any good drone tester could wish for. We fell in love with the place. I bought the lease from the U.S. government.
And now these are your islands. No government but Skeltech.
Well, avoiding government regulation was a factor.
Oh, I'll bet it was. I met a lot of Skeltech employees who are mad at you.
The outcasts. Sentinel hasn't taken care of them yet?
I don't know. Do they have a point? Remember the Neanderthals, all that shit?
The Neanderthals interbred with Homo sapiens. You and I could both have Neanderthal DNA. So their whole idea of the next step of evolution destroying the last, it's nonsense.
So they're not winning Nobel Prizes. Fine. But we still need to work with them. For now. You healed up from the bombing attack? I mean, in your head?
Yeah, well, I had to deal with the aftermath. First team to inspect the site. I still remember all those broken windows, shattered shards of glass. I kept thinking, we can fix those. We can fix those. I got the windows fixed, but I stopped scheduling non-vital meetings in the Skell Foundation head office. It's different than when you see something on TV. It's just reporters and sirens. It's the smell. So acrid it singes your nostrils, like the energy around you has been sucked away, you know?
Yeah, I do.
And the bombers were never caught. We never knew if another one was coming. We suspected the outcast, but now that Sentinel's taken over, I wonder.
You're the one who asked Sentinel to step in.
Yeah, that's on me.
Sometimes it seems like Harmony's the only Skeltech kid in Aurora.
I don't know. We invited more people to Aurora who had children, but most of them turned us down. It was kind of great having Harmony around.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. There ain't so many kids out in Aurora for me to worry about.
Believe me, worrying about Harmony is enough.
You two seem to get along.
Yeah. She treats me like another kid. She's smart, but having her around helps me see things with new eyes.
But aside from her dad, she has no one else here?
No, just me.
You and Paula cool now?
I hope so. I've known her almost her whole adult life, you know?
You're kind of her mentor.
A mentor's more than a boss, more than a friend even. I've guided her entire career. I don't want her to feel betrayed.
Well, she's here now. That's something. It's at least a start. You sure this virus is gonna work?
Absolutely. It's not a computer virus like any other. Yes, it will hack systems, controlling a sector of drones, but this virus includes an evolutionary algorithm.
Machine learning backdoor malware? I like my attacks a little simpler.
But our opponent, the systems, they're too complex to come at them with anything less. But don't worry. Paul and I will make it work.
I hope so, genius. I hope so. So, what does a billionaire arms dealer do? You know, whenever he's not manufacturing killing machines.
Skeltech is responsible for an extensive catalog of inventions over the past decades.
I'm listening.
Our first economically viable autonomous machine was the Skell Farmer, a harvester capable of recognizing the range and ripeness of crops. Since then, it's found unintended utility in mining and forestry.
So explain to me how you got here. From farming drones to war machines.
Our next invention, the Skell Transporter, was the first affordable smart delivery device, a new standard in the industry. The Skell Doctor may interest you, an advanced cousin specialized to carry sensitive medical supplies. You could easily shoot one out of the sky to steal its payload.
Could be useful.
Our Cherubim City and Sky models behave like mobile CCTVs, capable of facial and behavioral identification, and alert authorities in real time. I suggest you steer clear of them if you want to move undetected.
I'll keep that in mind.
My point is that I have dedicated my life to improving the human condition and relieving the population from the crushing weight of repetitive work.
Well, let's see if we can make sure your legacy's intact at the end of this. Genius. I need you to tell me everything you can about all the lethal drones.
Of course. Anything I can do to help undo what I've done. It all started with two basic military training drones. The Incubus for ground and its airborne sister, the Succubus. They were then multi-purpose, giving birth to new models. Eamon and his flying sibling Murmur were taught to patrol areas in the wild. Ime and Malphus were designated for location defense. The meanest models were Andres and Stolas, search and destroy drones that the wolves just love.
I'm sure they're all perfectly tailored for whatever Walker's got in mind. Go on.
Behemoths are massive tank-like machines with incredible firepower. You'll mostly find them guarding infrastructure and strategic assets. Azraels, on the other hand, are long-range, high-altitude spy drones. They're capable of recon over a wide array of land and utilize heat sensors and pattern recognition to identify threats and intrusions. They aren't very well suited for battle, though. They mostly just point out targets so that strike forces can do the dirty work.
Thanks, genius. Wish me luck. I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military contractors into Aroa.
Well, I mean, not exactly. We're self-governing.
You used to be.
Okay, we used to be. We needed security. Not just as a police force, but as security. At least that's what Miles got me to finally admit.
Against pirates in the moment and such.
Our drone security was limited. It still is. If unauthorized people land, we would know about it, but we couldn't do anything about it.
You're obviously not afraid of squatters. You were afraid of corporate spies.
We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be. But I was worried about the safety of our staff, the bombing. I just never imagined the antibiotics would be more deadly than the illness. Sentinel snuck a private army into the abandoned U.S. military complexes. Stone's been planning this takeover from day one.
I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military.
Okay, certainly has our drones. We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be.
Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.
I don't have much time. One of Walker's lackeys, one of the wolves, Walker beat him severely. Others have been killed. I don't know if they were deserting, if they were traitors. I don't know why Walker did that. That wolf, he knows something. He must. He was spotted near Ancient Harbor. You have to hurry.